We have breaking news right now. No King's Day 2.0 is shaping up to be a historic protest, not just in the United States of America, but across the globe. I've been speaking with organizers throughout the day. I was at the Washington, D.C. protest today, and organizers tell me that in D.C. alone, there were more than 200,000 people on the ground marching as part of No King's Day 2.0. To put that into perspective, No King's Day 1.0 back in June had about 100,000 people in Washington, D.C. So this time around, more than double the amount of people from No King's Day 1.0 were marching in the streets at their flagship event in Washington, D.C. In addition, organizers tell me that this is officially the largest protest in Washington, D.C. during the Trump era. That means more people have shown up to No King's Day 2.0 than any other event in this Trump era. That is significant, and that shows the show of force that the American people are coming out with today. In addition, some other news, I was told by multiple sources that essentially No King's Day rallies across the country are seeing overcapacity. What that means is, for example, if a rally had 500 RSVPs and an event capacity space of about 1,000, they're seeing 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people show up. Remember, at the beginning of this day, the goal was to get to 10 million. That was the number that organizers wanted, because if they got to 10 million, that would be one of the largest protests in American history. Based on what I'm hearing, I'm pretty confident we're going to get there, if not close to there. And it's not just Democrats marching, which is interesting, because I was actually at the Washington, D.C. protest today, and multiple independents came up to me, multiple self-identifying Republicans came up to me, multiple people whose family members don't watch politics came up to me. And they told me that, hey, I may not always agree with what you're saying, I may not always love the work that you're putting out, but I appreciate it, and I watch it, and I get my news from you. And hearing that tells me one thing: we're breaking through. We're breaking through in a way that I really never dreamed of or ever thought of. Just today, our coverage of No King's Day 2.0 has reached millions across social media platforms. And well, this is just the beginning, because facts are not partisan. The truth is not partisan. And we're going to reach every household in the United States of America. I'm going to do it with your support. So please consider subscribing to support my work today. Now, No King's Day organizers, they expect 10 million people to show up across the country, and we're seeing massive turnouts. We're seeing massive turnouts in Boston, in San Diego, in Miami, and elsewhere, and especially in Washington, D.C., which is the flagship protest. During the protest in Washington, D.C., I was able to speak with two senators, Senator Adam Schiff from California and Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey. Now, the Schiff interview is actually very interesting, because Adam Schiff, if you know, he's actually potentially set to be indicted next. So I want you to take a look at what Adam Schiff said in response to my interview with him. Hey folks, I'm here at the No King's Day rally with Senator Adam Schiff. Now, Senator, there have been a lot of conversations about Donald Trump going after his political opponents, acting like a king. You could be next. What's your reaction to that? What's your reaction to Donald Trump and these protests today?
Well, I think all these things are connected. It's why you're seeing millions gather all around the country, and that is they're going after an enemies list. But they're also going after our health care, they're going after our universities, they're going after the media and free speech. They're trying to be kings, and we're just here to say hell no to that. It's wonderful to see everyone out there, and one of the signs I just was looking at really caught my eye, and it said silence is compliance. And I would say even more than that, silence is complicity. We need to speak out right now. We need to condemn this authoritarian lurch from this administration and be here and be all over the country defending our democracy.
Thank you, Senator. Now, as you can see, Senator Schiff is making clear that he's not afraid of what's to come. He's not afraid of this administration. He was there to make clear that there are no kings in the United States of America. I also spoke with Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey about his thoughts, not just about No King's Day, but also about reports that SNAP benefits, food stamps, are running out of money essentially as soon as next month. I want you to take a look at what he said. We have some big news, folks. I'm here with Senator Cory Booker at the No King's Day rally in Washington, D.C. Senator Booker, what's your message to folks who are out here protesting right now?
I mean, this is what our democracy has to stand for, which is when we see people who are violating our values, checks and balances, separation of powers, and attacking things that are sacrosanct, food programs for our children, health care for our country, we've got to stand up and speak out. We're still a democracy where the power of the people is greater than the people in power.
Now, right now, we're in a government shutdown, day 18. A lot of folks say that SNAP benefits could run out potentially at the end of the month or very soon. What's your message to folks who are concerned about this government shutdown?
To demand that Donald Trump does something. The reality is people are hurting, and they control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. It's on them to bring us together to end this shutdown. And remember what we're fighting for. We're fighting for the fact that things are getting too hard for too many people. Not only are we seeing healthcare costs rise, double, triple for many Americans, but we're also seeing the cost of groceries, the cost of fuel, gasoline, and more. We need a government that's going to stand up for the people and not the billionaires and millionaires alone. We need to make sure that this is an America for everybody, and right now too many people are hurting, so we are standing strong.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Now, as you can see, Senator Booker made clear that he too was there, like Senator Schiff, protesting and standing up against Donald Trump, against what is happening in the White House. I do want to make something else clear, that this is not just a United States-based protest. This is a protest that's going on worldwide. Organizers tell me that this morning, when the East Coast woke up, there were about 800 protests already underway across the globe, from London to Ireland to Australia, Tokyo, and Germany. There were 800 protests across the globe. Let that sink in for a second. That's not just a small one-off thing. There were tens of thousands of people across the world marching against the Trump administration. And a funny anecdote, actually, the protest in the United Kingdom, well, they have a king, right? King Charles is the king. So they actually called it No Tyrant's Day in the United Kingdom, not No King's Day, because the United Kingdom has a king. And so we're expecting more protests to break out across the country during the totality of the day. But I think my biggest takeaway in all of this, and what I speak to organizers, is that it was peaceful. They have not had an example of violence at all in any of their protests, especially the flagship protests. With millions of people marching, you would expect there to be some type of, at least incidences of violence across the country, but there are none. Not a single example has appeared as of this recording of violence. And that's what people need to go home with, is that this was a majority peaceful protest. And on the other end, what people need to go home with is that it's not just in the major cities, right? Washington, D.C., Boston, San Diego, these are big cities. They're Democratic aligned cities. But we're seeing protests pop up in rural Wisconsin, in Boise, Idaho, in rural Washington, rural Tennessee, Georgia, Mississippi, every state around the country that voted for Trump, didn't vote for Trump, it doesn't matter. They're out there protesting. And that right there, that is significant. So, folks, I just want to leave you with this. Thank you for giving me the best job in the world. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to cover this in person. Subscribe to support my work, like, comment, and share, and let's get the word out. Let's keep breaking through, and I'll see you soon with another update.